There's a number buried in almost every routine blood test that most people never think twice about: creatinine. It sounds technical, but it's actually one of the clearest snapshots your doctor gets of how well your kidneys are doing their job. And for a surprising number of people, that number keeps climbing for reasons that have nothing to do with getting older and everything to do with what's in their glass. We spend so much energy thinking about kidney-safe foods, watching salt, protein, potassium, but almost nobody thinks twice about their drinks. Yet a handful of extremely common beverages, the kind sitting in your fridge or gym bag right now, may be doing slow, cumulative damage to how well your kidneys filter blood. Today, I'm walking through 5 drinks that could be quietly pushing your creatinine higher than it needs to be, including one marketed directly as a healthy choice, which throws off almost everyone I mention it to. If this is useful, subscribe and turn on notifications so you catch future breakdowns like this, and tell me in the comments which of these 5 is part of your routine. I read every comment. Stay through number 5. It's the one that fools even health-conscious people. Understanding what creatinine really shows you, I'm Dr. William. With more than 15 years in internal medicine, let me take a couple of minutes to unpack this number because it changes how you'll look at the rest of this list. Creatinine forms as a natural byproduct when your muscles break down creatine for energy. Under normal conditions, your kidneys filter it out and clear it through urine. When kidney function is under pressure, though, creatinine builds up in the blood instead, which is exactly why it's used as a go-to marker for how well your kidneys are filtering. A rising creatinine number doesn't automatically signal disease. It might reflect dehydration, higher muscle mass, a supplement you're taking, or kidneys working harder than they should be. But if the trend keeps climbing across multiple blood panels with no obvious cause, your daily drink choices are worth a much closer look. None of these 5 are rare habits. They're common items found in ordinary kitchens and gym bags everywhere. Let's go through them one by one. Drink number 1, regular sugar-sweetened soda. This is the most widely consumed drink on the list, and its link to kidney strain is now well documented. A can of regular soda delivers a large, rapid dose of sugar with essentially no nutritional benefit, and that combination sets off a cascade that eventually reaches your kidneys. Frequent soda intake is repeatedly connected to weight gain, elevated blood sugar, and higher blood pressure, the 3 biggest contributors to chronic kidney disease. Organizations like the National Kidney Foundation have specifically called attention to sugar-sweetened drinks as a kidney concern, since the sugar load drives metabolic stress and low-level inflammation that accumulates over years. Here's the part people overlook. Soda usually doesn't harm kidneys directly or overnight. Instead, it quietly builds the conditions: diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, that are the actual leading causes of declining kidney function and rising creatinine. What to do? If soda is part of your daily routine, shifting it to an occasional drink rather than a habit is one of the most impactful changes available. Sparkling water with citrus is a good stand-in that skips the metabolic cost. Drink number 2, energy drinks. Energy drinks have exploded in popularity, especially among people pushing through demanding schedules, and pound for pound, they may be among the harder drinks on kidney function. Most combine a heavy caffeine dose with generous sugar, artificial sweeteners, and stimulant blends, all packed into a single can. That combination raises both blood pressure and heart rate at once, forcing your kidneys to filter blood under added cardiovascular strain. Clinical case reports have linked heavy, habitual energy drink use to acute kidney injury in certain individuals, particularly with large quantities, dehydration, or intense exercise involved. The American Society of Nephrology has raised concerns specifically about regular intake beyond 1 or 2 cans a day. For anyone with borderline kidney function already, this extra cardiovascular and metabolic burden is exactly the kind of daily stress that nudges creatinine upward over time. What to do? Treat energy drinks as an occasional tool rather than a daily requirement. If you're relying on them for energy, Gradually reducing caffeine while improving sleep quality tends to fix the root issue more sustainably. Drink number 3, so regular alcohol. Intake alcohol's kidney impact is less understood than most people assume. It acts as a diuretic, increasing urine output and dehydrating you more than the actual volume consumed would suggest. Dehydration is one of the most common and most overlooked causes of a temporarily elevated creatinine reading. Beyond that dehydration effect, regular, heavier drinking is linked to higher blood pressure and added strain on the liver, an organ that works closely with the kidneys to clear toxins from the blood. When the liver is under more load, kidneys frequently pick up the slack, adding to their own workload over time. This isn't about an occasional glass with dinner. It's the gap between occasional and habitual, and how that gap quietly shows up in lab results months or years down the road. What to do? Alternating alcoholic drinks with water and staying within recommended moderate limits meaningfully cuts the dehydration and blood pressure load alcohol places on kidney function. Drink number 4, sports and electrolyte drinks. This one catches people off guard because it's marketed around hydration and performance, the opposite of what you'd expect for a kidney concern. But many sports and electrolyte drinks are formulated with significant added sodium and sometimes sugar, built for athletes doing hours of intense, sweat-heavy training. For the average person sipping one casually, after a light workout, or simply because it tastes better than plain water, that sodium and sugar load isn't matched by the level of exertion it was designed for. Excess sodium intake is well documented to raise blood pressure and kidney stone risk, both adding pressure to kidney filtration over time. Ironically, most people reaching for a sports drink aren't doing the extended high sweat activity that would actually justify the added sodium and sugar. Plain water covers hydration needs for the vast majority of everyday exercise. What to do? Save electrolyte drinks for genuinely intense, prolonged workouts, an hour or more of heavy sweating, instead of a routine post-walk or post-gym habit. Water should remain the everyday go-to. Drink number 5, the one sold as healthy. This is the drink I asked you to stick around for, and it catches even the most health-conscious people off guard. Protein shakes and creatine-containing supplements. Here's the twist that makes this one different from the rest. Creatine, the compound in these shakes, is broken down by your body into creatinine, the exact substance measured in your blood test. So someone taking a daily creatine or high-protein shake can get blood work showing elevated creatinine that looks identical to declining kidney function, even when their kidneys are functioning perfectly well. Research reviews on creatine supplementation, including systematic reviews and meta-analyses in the medical literature, have found that creatinine elevation from creatine use reflects predictable metabolism, not kidney damage. And studies tracking actual kidney filtration markers found no meaningful impairment in healthy adults at standard doses. But here's the real catch. That same harmless rise in a healthy person taking creatine can also mask a genuine early kidney problem, since the number alone can't distinguish supplement-driven elevation from actual kidney decline. Separately, very high daily protein intake from shakes, independent of creatine, adds its own filtration workload, since kidneys must process and clear the nitrogen byproducts of that protein. For someone whose kidney function is already compromised, that added protein load matters more than it would for someone with healthy kidneys. What to do? If you regularly use creatine or protein shakes, tell your doctor before any blood panel, so an elevated creatinine reading gets interpreted in the right context instead of mistaken for kidney decline. If you have a known kidney condition, check with your doctor before starting or continuing either supplement. Zooming out. None of these 5 drinks are guaranteed to damage a healthy person's kidneys on their own. The real risk comes from frequency and stacking. A daily soda, a nightly drink, a post-workout sports drink, and a protein shake can quietly pile on top of each other in ways no single one would alone, each adding its own small dose of metabolic or filtration strain. The encouraging part is that this is one of the most controllable pieces of kidney health. Unlike genetics or age, what ends up in your cup is a daily choice, and small, consistent swaps compound in your favor just as easily as they compound against you. When it's time to call your doctor. If your creatinine has been trending upward across recent panels, don't try to interpret it alone. A single creatinine number without context, hydration status, muscle mass, supplement use, and overall filtration rate, eGFR, can be misleading either way. A basic metabolic panel that includes creatinine, eGFR, and electrolytes gives your doctor the fuller picture needed to know whether a rising number reflects a genuine kidney issue or something more benign, like dehydration or supplement use. If you're over 60, take a daily creatine or high-dose protein supplement, or regularly drink any of these 5 beverages. It's worth asking your doctor to check kidney function at your next visit rather than waiting for a symptom to prompt it. A patient story. Consider David, 54, an active gym goer who came in concerned after his annual physical showed creatinine slightly above the standard range. He'd been taking daily creatine and having a protein shake after every workout for years, and understandably, the number worried him. We went through his full picture together. Normal eGFR, well-controlled blood pressure, and no other markers suggesting reduced kidney function. Once we factored in his significant muscle mass and consistent creatine use, it became clear his creatinine reading was simply a predictable reflection of his supplement routine and muscle metabolism, not kidney decline. What we did adjust was his energy drink habit. 2 a day, most days, something he'd never really questioned. Over the following months, he scaled that back to occasional use and swapped his afternoon soda for sparkling water. At his next check, his blood pressure had improved modestly and his overall metabolic markers looked healthier, even though his creatinine, still tied to his ongoing creatine use, stayed roughly the same. The number that originally worried him turned out to be the least important thing to change. The habits underneath it were the real opportunity. Everything covered in this video is educational, drawn from published research and guidance from recognized kidney health organizations, not personalized medical advice. Don't stop or start any supplement or make major dietary changes without talking to your own doctor first, especially if you have an existing kidney condition. Take medications sensitive to hydration or blood pressure, or have specific fluid guidance from your care team. Your action plan: sugary sodas, scale back to occasional. Swap in sparkling or citrus-infused water. Energy drinks, limit to occasional use. Address the underlying fatigue or sleep issue instead. Alcohol, alternate with water and stay within recommended moderate limits. Sports and electrolyte drinks, save for genuinely intense, prolonged exercise. Use plain water otherwise. Protein and creatine shakes. Fine to continue if healthy and appropriate for your goals, but flag it for your doctor before any blood panel so creatinine gets read in the right context. Pick 1 or 2 of these that overlap with your current habits and make a single small change this week instead of trying to overhaul everything at once. Closing. If one of these 5 surprised you, let me know which one in the comments. I read every single one. For more research-backed content like this, hit subscribe. New videos come out every week on what the science actually says about kidney health and healthy aging after 60. I'm Dr. William, and I'll see you in the next one.